only going to go over just brief little things about this because you're going to work in groups to go through and create your own iceberg model, okay? But what I want you to do now is kind of see what the basic idea behind it is. Okay. Do you ever have little things that bother you?
Yes.
And you really just leave them alone, and you don't say anything, and you don't say anything, and they build, and they build, and they build, and finally, what happens? You explode, right? That's exactly what an iceberg model is about. There's lots of stuff that lead up to just what the tiny result is at the end. Stock and flow. Remember at the beginning of the year we did the stock and flow? What goes into something can lead out something, right? So good things can lead to what they want, but bad things kind of take things out. So when we're talking about underlying structures, what influenced the things? What influenced the Patriots to want freedom? What?
Their own religion.
They wanted religion. So here, on this part of your iceberg, are underlying structures. All of these are what leads to this. The big kahuna at the top of the iceberg. It's the one thing that slowly just pokes out. But it's everything that is underneath it that is creating that final, this is it, we're done, we're going to fight it out. And you as groups are going to break apart, and you're going to do exactly what we've done with the ladder of inference, with the connection circles, with the design challenge, all that. You're going to take it and you're going to start filling in the blanks, okay? And then after 15 minutes, I'm going to pull all of you back together, and as a group, we're going to come back and fill in our major model. Questions? Now, why are we doing all of this? Because what this is leading up to is you are going to, in the end, your main goal is going to be that you are going to create a book, okay? Some of you are going to be loyalists, and you're going to be creating a book for the loyalists. The other half of you are going to be the patriots. All based on what it is that you are creating off of the iceberg model, okay? So this is your framework for what's going to be used to create your book, okay? Your actual iceberg, once you have created it, will become your table of contents. So on the bottom, you can see it says mental models. Page 4 of your book is going to be, or whatever yours is, this is just an example. Page 4 is going to be everything that you've come up with mental models. What were their assumptions? What were their beliefs? What were their rules? That's going to be a page in your book. Another page is going to be the underlying structures. Your connection circle. What was everything that led up to everything that happened? Okay? Your underlying structures, you can find with your connection circle that's sitting over there. All right? Then another page is going to be your patterns of behavior. What was taking place on your side? And then page 1 will be the events. What led up to it? To what was your final thing? The Revolutionary War. All right? Do you understand what we're kind of getting into? So I'm going to break you apart. I'm going to give you, you may get a whiteboard once I break you apart. I'm actually going to put you in groups of 2. Okay? That way you'll have a little bit more time and we can put a little bit more of your ideas together. The behavior over time will tell you what led to the unhappiness, right? So kind of work your iceberg from top to bottom and from bottom to top at the same time, because all of it ends up tying in together, okay? But then you've been on a ship for months. It smells, it's cold, it's wet, people are getting sick and dying, there's no food left. So how is your level of excitement going? So you've kind of plummeted and you've fallen way, way down. But then what happens? You finally see land, you've made it, you are still somewhat in good health, you haven't starved to death. So what's going to happen to your behavior again? What's going to happen to your level of excitement? It's going to go up. So if you were to chart it and you were to put it on a behavior over time graph, right? We could do that at the beginning of it. Your time would be what? From leaving England, right, to coming to or arriving in the New World, right? And in the middle, this would be halfway through our trip, right? And if we did level of excitement, here we could do really excited, right? And then down here is what? Not excited at all, right? Not excited. So when you are first leaving England, draw it up for me. When you're first leaving England, where's your level of excitement? I'm going to the New World, I'm going to the New World. So where are you? You're all the way at, go ahead, draw it. So you're all the way at the top when you are first leaving, right? So you're going to start way up here because your excitement level is all the way at the top, right? So what happens about halfway through the trip? Where are you now? You're halfway through the trip, you've run out of food, you've run out of really clean water, it smells terrible, you're seasick all the time. How are you feeling? Yeah, you're not, right? So you're kind of plummeting straight down, aren't you? Now, you think that you're at the bottom of the barrel, you can't go any further, and all of a sudden you hear somebody going, land ho! And you've got land, and you know that you have arrived. You take everything you have left, and what do you like again? You're very happy. So how would your behavior go? So it goes right back up to the top. Now see, this is a reverse dip to what we usually see, isn't it? We usually start at the bottom and then go up and come back down. So that is one of your behaviors over time, okay? And then you've got more and more. You are a loyalist, right? What were your beliefs at the time? Yes, you came to the New World just like everybody else, but you had very different views than the Patriots did. What were your views? What were your thinking? Even though you're in the New World, that what? You are still going to be loyal to the king. Why do you think part of the concern was that you needed to stay loyal to the king? Well, you were worried about fighting or being caught, being killed for treason. He blocked all the harbors, right? Started taxing tea. So he was taking away everything from people. So was that a reason that you decided to stay loyal to? Yes? Why do they stay loyal? But it's more than just staying God. They don't want to be ruled by somebody else. This is all they have ever had. This is all they've ever known. Think about it. The monarchy system still holds true in England, right? So go back and discuss. Talk about the things that, why they stayed loyal. It wasn't just because they were worried about losing their life. It was because this is what they knew, and that they believed it to be right. Okay? Well, it's all that they've ever known. So they weren't really ready to think outside the box yet, right? They weren't ready to say, I'm giving it all up. So you had those that said, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, give me liberty or give me death. I would rather die than not be able to live the kind of life that I want to live. That's the way the Patriots were thinking. The Loyalists were saying, we have to stay. Because if not, you're a traitor. It's treason. You are going against somebody who provided you this opportunity. Okay? So go back and look at the behavior over time as well. Like, we erased it. We did one just a few minutes ago. It was actually when we were coming to the New World. How did people feel when they first left for the New World? How were they by the time they got to the New World? Right? Right. So we can see behavior over time with that. Alright? There's lots of them that we can do. But the main thing that the Patriots realized is that they had to be what? United. They had to be united. So they decided they had to change their perspective and become united in order to come up with the long term of being free. Mentally and in your heart, what did you feel about the king?
felt fine because, like, we were fine with the king because we were fine to play.
He was good to you, right? He was demanding, but he gave you things you needed. Where's my patriot people? Okay. Tell me, what were some of your beliefs? Liberty. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of
Happiness.
So you wanted to be liberated, to have liberty. You wanted to have happiness. Okay, what else? Yes. You wanted to be united with your group of people, right? What else? What were your beliefs? Why did you come in the first place? You wanted to live your live my life. And who did you want to tell you how to live your life?
Me.
You wanted me. So we're going to put me, not as in me, but me, as who was going to be in charge of your life. Yes. Loyal was who? Who were you going to be loyal to?
The king.
You were tired of being. We'll do that one in a minute. That one is for loyalists. Yes. Not being ruled. Not having somebody tell you all the time what you have to do. Which is not being ruled. Now let me ask you this. There are lots of things that that was the bottom of it. These are the little things that started sizzling in your mind. They're starting to get you to lead up to here, okay? We had the midnight ride. We started bringing things together by doing what? What did we form?
The Minutemen.
We started forming the Minutemen. Okay? Now, let me ask you this. We kind of got our revenge. We had the Boston Tea Party. We dumped the tea back into the harbor, but then the king got back at us. What did he do?
Try.
What did he do?
Try to kill. British.
He closed off the harbors, right? So the harbors ended up getting closed off. Did that make us any happier? No. So the more that this took place, it was all building up to
Revolutionary.
the tip of the iceberg. So by the end, there was unity. You're going to finish it on Monday, and then we'll start the books. It actually took longer today to do the iceberg than I thought it would, which is fine, because it just kind of gives you more insight. And considering it was the first time we've ever done it, I think you did a pretty good job. So today we were learning about the impact that the Revolutionary War had between the Loyalists and the Patriots, and everything that built up to that. So what we did was we used what was called an iceberg model, which comes from systems thinking, which discusses the fact that what we truly see, the outcome, is only a very small part, and that everything that leads up to it is actually underlying, and we might not see it.
Great. And why did you teach the lesson the way you did?
I'm trying to incorporate systems thinking into everything that I'm doing right now, and it's just a unique way of them being able to break down so that they can see the different levels of what it is that they're doing, so that they can understand the whole picture better.
Great. And what do you think worked about the lesson?
I think what worked is that it lets the kids really work together and come up with their own ideas. It's the first time that I've actually used this model, so it was new to them and new to me, and it kind of let us all learn together about how we could break it down, but really to be able to let the kids work together and come up with their own creative ideas.
And do you have any advice for future teachers?
Same thing as that I said last time, is be willing to try all kinds of new things to see what works for you, and if it doesn't work, then be willing to not use it or change it up so that it will become effective in the long run.